It is time to have an honest...
All right, let's see what we got.
This conversation about the esports industry and how we got here and where it's going. I'm Devin Nash, and I am super passionate about esports.
Tomorrow is No Link Tuesday, the first one ever. On that day we will simply not link. Those who link will be taken whilst asleep and locked up in a very dark place, never to return to the surface ever again.
Yeah. But yeah, I've been thinking this for ages, man. When I saw what teams were evaluating themselves for a few years back, like 4 years back or so, I knew it was a fucking air castle, man. It was a fucking air castle, dude. It was nutty. There's no way they can make a return, a profit for these numbers, and it's only a matter of time before the VCs caught on. I think what was it? What happened with FaZe that started this whole debacle?
I formerly ran Counterlogic Gaming. I was the CEO over there, and I also ran Team Dignitas in 2015.
Hello, Mr. Force. Hello, Base. Obama here. I have a link for y'all today. I'm also out of ideas from my normally creative TGS things will. Anyways, here y'all go. BTWI was informed that Pora lives new matter. Hashtag PLM. HH.
Yes, no further links. Forsen lost in the queue. Nice. Very nice. What did he say? He was on Dignitas?
Head of North America there. And I've been interested in competitive industry and how we got here and where it's going. I'm Devin Nash, and I am super passionate about esports. I formerly ran...
I hope everyone is having a good day.
They're not.
CEO over there, and I also ran Team Dignitas in 2015. I was...
Okay, so he ran Team Dignitas after they were bought. Team Dignitas was the first esports team to have a major acquisition, right? They got sold in 2013, 12, 13. 13, okay, 13. That was the first time a team was sold, and I don't remember exactly what the price was, but I think it was something between 10 to 15, if I'm not wrong. Million. But I'm not sure.
Was the head of North America there, and I've been interested in competitive gaming for about as long as I can remember. But as the esports industry came and grew, I've become more and more worried about the direction it's going. There's not a lot of transparent conversation. There's a lot of smoke and
Hello, Mr. Force. Hello, really chat. Hope everyone is having a lovely Monday, except you. Yes, you in chat. You see yourself. You absolute excuse of the human.
I want to do more than just covering the news here. I want to have the difficult conversation of what the esports industry really is and what people haven't talked about for a long time. And I first got onto this, like the current news I'm sure everybody's seen, with huge layoffs hitting even big popular teams like 100 Thieves. Companies like FaZe Clan that were formerly evaluated at $500 million are now worth less than $30 million. You have Energy today acquiring CLG, my former company, with over 50 people being laid off, and the rest just the LCS being left, as well as TSM unilaterally announcing that they were a very infamous NA team unilaterally announcing that they're going to be leaving the esports scene. He's got to talk about how we got I mean, it's a really horrible state of affairs. It's something that I started talking about over 3 years ago. I made a video called "We Need to Talk About the Esports Bubble." And this was a 20-minute video that just went over a lot of the detail about the problems with esports. About 8 months ago, I made a video, "Is the end of esports coming?" And that was heralding this event here that we're at today, that unfortunately we need to make this video, which is kind of a full explanation of the real truth behind the esports industry and what happened and what's going to happen. And to start, we really need to understand what esports teams are, because I think there's a fundamental misunderstanding that the esports teams are essentially agencies. So like talent agencies.
That is what they are.
What do I mean by that? Well, I mean that, the basic model of an esports agency is you hire players to play competitive games. They go into leagues like OWL or LCS, or they play CSGO. You pay those players to do that. And then those players represent your brand to sponsors. And the idea is that sponsorship revenue will be greater than the amount you pay to do this, right? But there's been some real foul play in esports that kind of have never not allowed this to ever happen. And I'm going to make an argument where I actually think it's not possible to happen at a high level. And that esports is essentially doomed. This is a heavy video.
People keep lying about their view count.
I had to make for a long time.
Actual viewers, the reach.
We're going to talk. I think the first thing I can do is I can talk about
leagues,
all the ways
the
that
fucking Twitch numbers,
esports teams should make
the
money
Twitch statistics.
In theory. So esports.
No one can trust anything in esports.
Okay, so we're going to start with prize winnings, and then we're going to go to media rights. And then we're going to go to ticket sales.
Like your logo on our player's shirt is going to be seen by this many people.
We got a couple more after that, but we'll just start here. So let's talk about prize winnings first. So prize winnings means that if your team, as an esports org, your team makes a championship and wins championships, sometimes those can be $100,000 and $1 million. The largest ones are maybe like the Dota International, like TI, which is like actually a pretty big prize pool. Sometimes like north of like $10 million. But esports teams typically get 5 to 10% of this total, and the rest is just distributed among the coaches and players. Usually, like in the case of the LCS, you have 5 players and a coach and maybe an analyst, and it's just traded then. So for a company that has operating expenses that we're about to see, prize winnings are actually a really negligible amount of the esports pool, and they're not going to make a lot of money off of that. The media rights deal. So this was a media rights deal. This is basically permission to broadcast them. So if you look at like America or in Europe, the NFL or the European Soccer League will sell their rights to various television channels for tens of millions of dollars. And we're going to learn why media rights don't work in esports and how no esports team is making money here. But that's actually how a lot of stuff like the NBA and the NFL almost exclusively monetizes like that and sponsorships. Ticket sales, there's barely anything coming here, if anything. I think the idea in esports was that teams would fill out stadiums, and we're going to kind of find out why that didn't really work, and is it probably going to work?
Bunch of
league payouts is the amount nerds, publishers like Riot Games or Blizzard pay teams to be in the league. This ends up being only usually like a few $100,000 per year. It's actually not that much, and considering that the teams paid franchise fees to be in these leagues, you have to like keep in mind that this is like nothing compared to that. Now there's also apparel and brand sales. I think that's how you spell apparel. Brand sales. So merch, stuff like that. This has carried orgs. So orgs like 100 Thieves have made their money almost.
I mean, this is very basic. This video is too long for me to watch, but yes, it is very much a bubble. In terms of esports teams, in terms of the esports scene, it's not really. If you're like Epic Games, you can still make a lot from the esports scene by having sponsors and stuff for the events and whatever, because they own the fucking game and whatnot. They set the rules. But as a team, being a little bit of a mini leech/agency. Yeah, I don't know. The valuations that they are getting is ridiculous. I would like to see when Team Dignitas sold, I was so shocked that they sold. I don't remember what they sold for. I really don't. I have to Google this because my brain is fucked. OD was the guy back then, having the StarCraft team. It was 1 million. It was only 1 million. Okay, I mixed it up. 1 million, and that was pretty sick. But now they have valuations up in the fucking mid hundreds, right? Like a few years ago. What the fuck, dude? What the fuck?